What's good, guys? How are you guys doing on this beautiful Sunday morning? Back again for another live stream. I have this lighter here, but I think it's out actually, which is a shitty situation, but I have some matches here at least, courtesy of Cannabolish. Shout out Cannabolish. Be repping all different types of people because I got the Beeline Hempwick shirt on as well. But none of this is what I want to show you guys. I'm about to get to that in just a second. First, I'm going to light this J, let some people pull up to the live stream, and then I'm going to get into it. All right, let's get into it. Crammy, David, Emmanuel, Sonic, Isaac, Neftali, welcome to the Sunday morning live stream. This is actually the last bit of flour I've had, so I wanted to show you guys this while I had it. Junior, I have never tried Mad Labs before. No, I have not. But I'm going to actually switch to a different camera because I want to show it to you on my desk. Excuse my desk being kind of dirty. But this is the first prototype. Sorry, 1 second. So I gotta switch to this camera. This is the first prototype of the cannabis library rolling tray and ashtray combo. I've been testing it out. Obviously, it has a little cannabis library grinder as well. It's got the lighter sleeve, and here is the ashtray shaped in the cannabis library logo. It has the slide out joint packers right here, and then obviously the joint will go right there. Probably will come in different colors and stuff like that. This is a prototype, but as you guys can see, this is the cannabis library rolling tray and ashtray combo with a grinder and with a lighter sleeve as well. So I'm going to try to get these available to people if anybody's interested in it coming up here soon. I wanted to show the people that come on live this first. Sorry this camera is so unsteady, but this was something I was excited about and something that I've been wanting to get started, something that I've been wanting to figure out, something that's useful for me too, because it has the bowl clearer in there, it has the joint packers in there, it has the shit that I need when I'm rolling up and smoking and stuff like that, and hopefully the stuff that some other people need as well. So that'll be something that I'm trying to something I've been trying to show you guys, and something I've been trying to get ready. Like I said, I hope to introduce different colorways and stuff like that, but I will let you guys know when that stuff is available on online and shit like that, if anybody's interested. Hope you guys have had a good weekend this far. Yesterday I went to some St. Patrick's Day shit next to the Green River and Green Water and everything. Out here in Chicago. So that was a pretty fun session. Right now I have some I forgot the name of it. Cream Cake is the name of this strain, so I had to look it up. Cream Cake. Neftali. Well, I'm glad this is able to add some distraction for you, but whatever the situation is, I hope you're able to find the smartest way and most effective way out of it. Air Force One was good. Emma, good morning. I really came on here just to show you guys the new rolling tray, ashtray combo. It's got a grinder with it too. So it's going to be like our cannabis library smoke station that's going to be available to you guys soon. Um, as it gets perfected, as I get everything figured out and stuff like that, and as I get the colorways figured out, I'm gonna make this just available to people and just see um, if people are interested in it. But I'm excited about just having a cannabis library product that's unique to cannabis library too. Like you're not gonna find something like this anywhere else. Like I played a hand in creating it and creating it as well. So I just wanted to show it to you guys, show it to people who are consistently on live first. I really don't know if I'm even keep this episode up because I do want to do kind of a full episode introducing it and everything like that, like actually kind of doing a little bit more of an official introduction. But at the same time, the people who come on live and shit, those are people I wanted to show it to. What's up? Keep it 55th Street. How you doing? I got you, Air Force One. I mean, I got hella videos. I got Cannabis Library US. You can find so many different strains, so many different whatever type of effects, anything you're looking for. The companies, you can find them on CannabisLibraryUS.com. But yeah, I'm gonna do a video about this soon. Show everybody the utility as I use a little bit more and see how I'm gonna use it and shit like that best. I'm excited to present this to you guys for real, even if my demeanor doesn't show it as much. I'm currently streaming on Twitch as well. Um, I have I'm streaming on Cannabis Library. I'm streaming on Grant Patterson, and I am currently streaming on Twitch. The Twitch is at the top of the screen if you're interested in looking at me on Twitch. But keep it 55th Street. Seems like you're a new viewer. I appreciate you tuning in. I don't feel like I've seen Air Force One before either. So welcome to the live stream, guys. I know different days provide for different shit because I do every day, 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. But I know that's a very busy time for most people. And so I try to get on here on the weekends as well, the days that I think people will probably off and shit, and give just people the opportunity to chill on these days as well. Because, like I said, I know a lot of people during the week are like super, super busy. Isaac, my morning's been good. My morning's been good. I've been testing out this ashtray I was showing you guys. The new cannabis library ashtray. Yeah, Natalie, no, there's no way I would ever do a video with somebody underage. There's just no way. I got you. Yeah, no, it's nice doing this because the smoke content. This is closest to like what a smoke session is like in real life. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree with that notion. Zachary, I'm glad it can help you relax. feel like they've reached out to me before, but you have to understand how much distillate I have. To my Twitch, appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the type of content that'll blow up, Neftali. But that's also not the type of content that has any type of longevity, and it's not the type of content that is legal at all, like in any way, you know. And that kid actually is like treading dangerous waters because if he gets in trouble, there's just like unlimited proof online now that he's been doing illegal shit on federal property, which he needs to be very careful of because schools are government property. And if you're consuming an illegal product, even if it's illegal for your age group on government property, you are violating even a different law than underage consumption. And if he's seen passing it to somebody younger than him at school or something like that, he has even more things that he's talking about, like distributing it amongst minors. No, it's not made in China. It's actually made here in the U.S. Sonic strains. If I was made in China, I would have to have a whole bunch of them. I actually only have this one. But no, it's not made in China. That's why I moved to Chicago so I can make content like as legal as I possibly can. I did. But I don't know if anybody on here saw it, but I'm introducing a new cannabis library ashtray rolling tray. If anybody wants to see it, you can put in the comments and I'll show it again. But I'll just assume that everybody's seen it right now. And it's not available yet for you guys. I'm still working out some things, figuring out color combinations and shit like that. But I'm definitely excited. Oh no, Isaac. Nah, I don't miss it. But yeah, it's made in the US. I'll actually show you the people who make it. I'm gonna do an interview, smoke session type shit with the people who created it, or I like co-opted designing it with. What's good, Mickey? Show it again. Okay, it's just like the cheese grater type grinder, but this is the cannabis library. I'm gonna call it the smoke station for now. And so, as you guys can see, it's branded and shit, but it's a rolling tray to ashtray, and the ashtray has joint packers, and this is like just a station to hold whatever you would want it to hold. As you see, that's how my J is set up right now. A J blunt goes there, whatever, another station, and then another like joint packer with a bowl clear built in the middle. It'll come with the grinder. It'll have the rolling tray and stuff. And then this is cannabis library lighter sleeve with like the hemp wick wrap and stuff because you know I'm pro hemp wick. So indeed, Miggy. But yeah, so these will be available soon. Hopefully, different colorways and shit like that. But this is like the first product that no, it's not the first product. My first product I made, I was probably like 19. But excited to get it out, and it's useful for me too because God knows I be packing my joints and shit with everything that's around me. I'd be clearing bowls, destroying my pins, destroying. I've destroyed some cords, like clearing bong bowls and shit. Um, and obviously the grinder, I have a grinder personally, but it's a cool thing for people because I know a lot of people don't have grinders, and this is something that it's like that can go on a wallet. You know what I'm saying? That's what's really clutch about it is when you're on the go, grinders like this can just slide in your wallet, and then you have a grinder that you don't have to take something kind of big with you everywhere and shit. Appreciate that Sensu bean. Yeah, and it would just kind of all go together. The ashtray, the rolling tray and shit. Whenever I have it, like it'll just all go together. Rolling tray, yeah, ashtray combo. But yeah, the ashtray is like it's something that's there's not really anything out there like it too, which I'm pretty happy about. Thank you, Emma. I appreciate it. When it's in purple, that's a bet, Zachary. Yeah, Natalia, if they could 3D print hemp plastic, that'd be dope. I'm sure the future will be exciting with that now that research for that shit is opened up. Maybe they'll appreciate it. I'm excited to really have this for my personal use. I only have one. You know what I'm saying? Something new, something different. I'll let you guys know when it's available. You know, long time pot prisoner. That's a bet, Miggy. I'll check it out. What time? Miggy's from Cannabis Legalization News. For anybody who doesn't know, they do a much more comprehensive news thing than I do and shit. And they do lives a lot. I've been seeing y'all on live like 4 to 5 times a week, usually at least. I feel like, and so definitely check out Cannabis Legalization News if y'all trying to stay up to date on news and shit. So at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, if you guys are trying to hear the story of a pot prisoner as we try to reform this shit, as we try to reform a system that was never right in the first place. we're gonna see as we push forward, but I'm interested to hear. Zachary, unfortunately, I live in a legal market to where I still don't get the consistent strains that I wish I did because I can't afford the dispensary. It's just that simple. And like I don't think most people can afford the dispensary. It doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? So I would say probably the average person here in Chicago makes like average is hard because you have to account for poverty and shit like that. But even somebody with a decent job here is making like $20 an hour, you know, $18 to $20 an hour. Because minimum wage here in Chicago is $15.50, I believe. I think it's $15.50. And so a person with a decent job here is making, let's say, $20 an hour. An eighth here costs you $85, $82 to $85. You might get down to 65 if it's like shake or something like that. But I don't think they do shake eighths. But so we're talking, let's say $70. $70 is like really the minimum you're gonna be able to spend if you buy an eighth of flour here. So somebody with a decent job here has to work for 3.5 hours to buy 3 grams of weed. Like it's pretty insane. I mean, if you're talking no tax, if you're talking in the medical market, now the cheapest eighth you're gonna get is 55.60, you know, and it won't be taxed. So you can get like a $60 decent eighth here, you know. But they're lagging. It's lagging. Is it lagging bad? I'm sorry. No, I don't have a Met card yet. I still have to get like Illinois ID and shit like that. Cause I don't drive, so it hasn't been a pressing matter. Like I don't drive at all, and so my license is only to get into a bar or something like that, which I still do once every 3 months. Or the comedy club is really where it is for me. Like the comedy club, yeah, for sure. Like the comedy club. So that's where I use my ID like by far the most. And so with that being said, like it hasn't been huge pressing, so I gotta get Illinois ID, and then once I get Illinois ID, then I can apply for medical. It's like that type of shit. So I try to go to the dispensary when I see like crazy deals and shit like that, but it's not affordable. and I'm not just poor, but I'm also not affluent in any way. I'm much closer to poor. much, much closer to poor. So when I've been, so I'll try to go to the dispensary when they have a crazy deal, but a crazy deal here is still $65 out the door, right? Like that's a crazy deal, like 60 to 65. And then they got the weird ATM systems to where they give you some cash back or whatever, but they still charge you a fee. So it's like the fees just stack up at the dispensary where, yeah, it's like $65. Yeah, in Washington, I'm sure you can find all types of shit. But oh, maybe though. I mean, if you were here any earlier than right now, you weren't finding good flour in Chicago. It's only been a year. It takes years to like get that shit right. But it is way safer than Texas. Miggy, it's just America. I'm searching for the safest place to be in shit. I really want to visit New York. I need to get some money together because that is going to be the biggest weed market I think in America or that the world has ever seen here in the next 2 years. Like, and by far, I think it's going to kill most other markets in terms of how that shit's made. But the scary thing is MSOs coming out of New York are about to be like, they're about to dominate the East Coast and shit. They might even stretch down into Florida and shit, but it doesn't matter. American money, like, it's already money from New York that's dominating these MSOs anyway. It's just now the names can be from New York, like headquartered in New York and shit like that. Like, that's a different type of power. And so, and the way there's like have the laws set up and stuff, the amount of population they have, the amount of weed smoke they already have going on out there, like everywhere else, New York's about to dominate. It's expensive, but they're going to have such open sales, it's seeming like, at least for a while, that that's going to keep the price down. When you corrupt the market like they do here in Illinois and most other states, it creates like this weird balance of off balance supply and demand principles. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're trying to manipulate supply and demand stays constant. But when you manipulate supply, like bad things happen for real. Bad things happen. Bad things happen with pricing. Bad things happen with quality. Bad things happen when you fuck up the supply when it comes to supply and demand. Yeah, they're saying if you're like a hemp farmer, you can now grow weed in New York and shit. So they're definitely actually making it equitable. And I think it's going to be the best place for like minorities to go that actually want to get in the market. And I know a lot of people have been lied to about social equity in their state, and they feel like it's. I've heard some people come on here and be like, it's easier for Black people to get in the market because of the social equity stuff, and I'd be like, I don't know. Like, there's nothing easier for Black people to do in the United States other than the NBA, and that's still a few select people. So I don't know if people get that, but as a Black person, I'm extremely excited about the market that they're trying to set up in New Jersey a little bit too, and New York, just like that whole area. And then that could change Pennsylvania, because right now Pennsylvania is a fucked up market too. But if that forces Pennsylvania into the recreational market, that could do some pretty dope stuff in the Pennsylvania market as well. You know, Michigan's great. Michigan's great. Just if you're in the marketing space, like in the media space and stuff, it might not be great for that. But if you're just straight in the weed space, and it might be great like as it opens up, because they don't have like, you can consume an advertising in Michigan and shit like that. I've been trying to dive more into like the advertising laws, because like here in Chicago, dispensaries can't advertise like consumption, kind of like how alcohol is. Alcohol on TV, they can't drink it. That's why they be cheersing it and holding it up and shit, because you can't drink it. But there's a lot of shit like that's just holding back like certain marketing and stuff like that in certain places. Because like in Massachusetts, you can't consume through marketing and stuff. So it's these tricky things that makes certain markets within the market like better than others, you know. Yeah, it's weird how the government's getting rid of hemp, and it's because they pro money. I'm telling you, and these weed markets are like, get all this hemp shit out of here. We're tired of hearing about it. We want people to get as high as possible because that's what's medically best for everybody. And that's what's a lot. That's what they're saying. Do not quote me on that, but I'm saying that's what they're trying to like sway people to, so people keep buying more potent and more expensive products, and they can keep selling it to people. Like you have to understand, like it's all through a money lens. People like finally they're seeing that weed is healthy for people. No, I don't think so. I think they're seeing that how much money, and we're talking about the government, like the populations, I guess, finally start being lied to. But in terms of the people who are actually making the laws, they're seeing what these checks are looking like, and they're like, these checks are fat, and so they're trying to kick out hemp, and they're trying to say it's all dangerous because it's not regulated how we are. And then the hemp market says it's not like since it's halfway legal, there's no way for us to be regulated like you are. And the Delta 9 market's like, all right, we'll just get rid of you. And they just pay a politician to get rid of it, you know? And so the weed market is scary in that way because the weed market isn't weed smokers, you know, it's people with money and not people who are willing to have conversations like this. I guarantee you that. They're doing it, they're not trying. The government doesn't try, they do. We as people, we try. The government does. The government does. Yeah, like with the Delta 8 and shit like that, they're trying to get rid of it. I guarantee you, they just, in this new 2023, 2022 hemp bill, whatever it is, they're trying to put Delta 8 under like the THC percentages and put it all under one umbrella, and everything has to be under like 1% THC. And they're going to advertise it to you as we're raising the amount of percentage that can be in hemp from 0.3 to 1%. And so they're going to sell it. They're salesmen. So they're going to sell it as 0.3 to 1%. Yay, we're not hoeing the farmer anymore. Then the farmer's going to say, hey, the only thing that was selling was Delta 8. And the government's going to be like, hey, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm scared for some of these businesses that are like bakeries. I see bakeries like infused drink spots that have all this Delta 8 and shit. I'm like, the federal government's coming after you because, yeah, they get your taxes. But when it comes as legal people, they get the taxes, they get the PAC committees, they get to tax the growers, they get to tax every single level of it, and they get to sell the license on the front end. Hemp, they only get to tax you on the back end. It's not enough money for the government. It's how it used to be, Sonic Strain. Microbreweries are new. They're new. Talking like last 15, 20 years that they started coming on the scenes. So if you look at Prohibition, which happened in the 20s, ended in the early 30s, so 70 years to 2000, and then around 2000, not even that really, but like microbreweries are really the last 10 years. So if you're looking at an 80-year drought of where only Budweiser and those big alcohol companies were selling all of that shit, you have to, like, if you see it like that, it's really not. It's the exact same thing. Like they give people a 100-year head start, 80 to 100-year head start, and they say, all right, we're gonna now, since we're America and we're so gracious, we're gonna allow the rest of you to enter. You know, 420, we just have to hope. Because that doesn't pass, don't mean that it's clear what their intentions are. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that one might not pass, but it's so clear what their intentions are that it's like, I'm sorry about the lagging. There's not that much I can do about it for real. I guess it's because I'm kind of far from the Wi I bought good Wi-Fi, so I don't understand why it gets shitty like this. But sorry about that again. But regardless, guys, just pay attention to what's going on because when the article has a certain title, just read into it a little bit. And especially because even I'm one of the few, in my opinion, like I'm not even a news source, but someone who's talking about hemp problems because most people are so focused on the weed problems that like they're like, if hemp goes away, that's okay. Like I don't care. But people love that shit. I know people on this channel, people that watch a lot of stuff like it. So I like talking about both of them, because everybody's always focused on, I don't think people are focused on like the issues that are actually affecting like most people. Most people aren't really dabbing. Most people aren't really like doing a few things. So I like talking about that niche stuff as well. But at the end of the day, like these hemp laws are affecting a lot of people and a lot of businesses for real that people would just overlook. For real, because they're like looking at cookies and shit. Like that's representative of most of the weed market. When cookies is really just white labels most of their weed as they move around places. It's not even all just like cookies, weed genetics, just because it's not legal for it to be. So it's, in terms of weed genetics, like from California cookies type shit. I'm in Illinois. Yeah, but the dispensaries here are a little bit different. Like not all places are like here. Like Oregon, decent market. Washington, like California is terrible. Most markets are terrible, but there's some markets out there to where there are some like mom and pop dispensaries. Like there are small local dispensaries. There are people who can like grow a small crop and sell it on their own. It's possible. It's getting harder and harder, but it's still possible. But in America, like with competition, it flows up. And so, but they're rushing that process by not letting anybody in. And they're like, we have to control the market. What does that mean? That literally sounds un-American. And the people that say that to me are the people who would claim that like public services are un-American, but controlling a market, limiting it, and saying who can compete in and who can't isn't controlling a market or is American. That's not at least the one they taught me about in school. Like that doesn't even make sense. We'll see what happens though. You know, it's going to have to be, people who want to exist in the weed market are going to have to be willing to move, in my opinion, unless you have millions and you can have multiple homes and be operating in a business in multiple places and shit like that. For sure, Sonic Strings. They're selling us the piss too on the back end. That's the thing, though. The war on drugs absolutely worked. Like that's the war on drugs is damn near the most highly effective domestic program that's ever been run in the U.S. Because if the war on drugs, I understand the name and people like they're going against drugs, but they're not. It's a war on American citizens, and it has absolutely worked. And now that drug addiction is now affecting a community that America cares about, they're now saying it doesn't work, but it was working for 70 years. It was working thoroughly. Like it was working to perfection. You have to understand that American weed laws set the standard for the entire world too. So America was not only able to change domestic laws, but change them around the world. That is the most effective use of propaganda that the world has probably ever seen. It's like the most effective use of propaganda that the world has ever seen. And I'm not even exaggerating in any way. And so, with that being said, like it worked to perfection. They have outlawed communities across the entire world. It's not even an American issue only. So, and marginalize people around the world. Like that's what Reagan and them and Clinton and all those people were like able to do. Like that is sickly impressive. And so, with that being the case, the U.S. is impressive with that. Like the greatest advertising and marketing agency that's ever been created, ever, ever. For sure, Zachary. Gotta. But like I said, I wanted to show you guys before. For anybody who was here before, you got to see the ashtray, rolling tray, grinder combo. It'll be available here soon. I'm gonna just talk to you guys about it here soon when it is available. I appreciate that. I'll probably take this episode down because I want to do an episode like introducing the whole thing together. But it'll be soon. They're not fighting drug addiction though, moneybags. Like if they were fighting drug addiction, our doctors would not be required to shovel pills into people's throats. That if they're fighting drug addiction, if they're fighting drug addiction, drug addicts would go to therapy. They wouldn't go to jail. If they're fighting, if they're fighting drug addiction, the government wouldn't be creating new drugs that are addictive. If they're fighting drug addiction, like it literally doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't be arresting the dealers. They'd be only arresting the suppliers. Like you have to, you know what I mean? If they're fighting drug addiction, like you have to think about like, are they? They're not fighting drug addiction. They're fighting people. They're not. There's no. They don't care about drug addiction. In the military, to get people to fly, they're giving them like cocaine and Adderall type shit, and they're not drug testing them. Drug enforcement agencies, people who have to like burn drugs after and stuff like that, they're not drug testing those people because those people are doing drugs. Because those are people who can do so. They're not fighting drug addiction. Like they wouldn't be peddling Xanax to housewives in like the 90s and shit if they were fighting. They're not. No, they're not. They're not fighting drug addiction. They want drug addiction, but they want the ability to arrest certain people for drug addiction. They want drug addiction. Like alcohol is such a big that is an addictive drug. Like America is pro drug addiction. Don't let anybody ever tell you that America is not pro drug addiction. Like they literally made the only non-addictive drugs illegal. Like not only don't get me wrong, I'm not ignorant on this subject. I'm just saying like weed and mushrooms and shit and acid, like shit that's not addictive at all, are illegal. And you can legally, as a doctor, give out the most addictive drugs on the market. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. So the war on drugs absolutely is the most effective campaign the U.S. has ever rolled out. And please, if you get nothing else from this, know that. Not the supplier. Like, think about that. They're not going after the supplier, they're going after dealers and addicts. Like, whoa, imagine if a doctor was in malpractice and they almost killed you and they arrested you. And you had to go to that doctor because you were so poor that you couldn't afford a good doctor and they arrested you. Oh my goodness. But if I disappear, y'all know why. Too much truth. Yeah. Imagine. Imagine there wasn't a McDonald's and a fucking Burger King on every single corner, and America was anti-addiction. In Texas, there's drive-through liquor stores. And America is anti-addiction. The biggest industry in America is pornography. And America is anti-addiction. Binging is literally a term for being addicted to watching TV. And America is anti-addiction. Appreciate that, Zachary. Hell yeah. The combo will definitely be available soon. America is the home of fast fashion and home of the one-click Amazon buy, but we're anti-addiction. Imagine that, bro. Imagine, just imagine that. Oh my goodness. But since we live in anti-addiction America, definitely go try some weed, maybe. That's not addictive, at least physically, they say. B. Allen, what's good? Appreciate you tuning in. I guess I'll show everybody one more time. I'm actually out of weed, so I need to go buy some. But I was just showing people. This is the first edition of the cannabis library. Like a little rolling tray, ashtray. Ashtray has little pockets to hold shit. It has joint/blunt packers. This is indented right here, so a J/blunt can sit right there. The combo come with a little grinder, little ashtray, and then it also has a cannabis library lighter sleeve, and they'll have big ones as well. So hopefully we'll get different colors coming out for you guys and shit. I'll keep you updated on the progress and stuff. You guys can see how much my hand trembles. Cannot hold anything steady. But that is what I actually wanted to show you guys when I said I wanted to show y'all something. I wasn't trying to just expose the truth. Oh my goodness. But if y'all want to donate to the GP Weed Fund, you're more than welcome to in the bottom left and bottom right parts of the screen. I do need to buy some today. I wish it was tax deductible. Even if it's medical, it's not tax deductible yet. They got us fucked up. So people who run businesses like me, who need weed for the business to run and to shoot content, make videos and stuff like that, it's not tax deductible, but we keep moving forward. I'll let you guys know when the ashtray/rolling, when the cannabis library, stoner station, smoking station. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it. Took us a good little time to make and design and shit. Hell yeah, it sounds like the destruction has been done. And it's not really a destruction that can come back from. So different colors would be extremely hard. So we're going to see what colors can be concocted for you guys, because that shit would be dope as fuck. I think I'm going to take this video down. Only the people who got to tune in are the only people who are going to get to check it out. I will do an official little unveiling of the rolling tray, ashtray shit do a video, show it to you guys. Cannabis library dad hats are necessary eventually, but these are the type of things you can't just get like one of. Like, you gotta go buy bulk and shit like that, and that takes money. I've still been adjusting Chicago life and shit, so eventually I'll be able to get that stuff to you guys. Definitely gonna be working to keep progressing this as much as possible. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I will see you